Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed. I bring you greetings from the African Union Commission, and I am honored to be a part of this lecture series on Africa's route to COP27 and the opportunity to engage on matters that are pertinent to our continent. I know I speak for many when I say that I am excited that Africa will be hosting COP27, the third time the event will be held in Africa, and as we head to Egypt in November 2022. We have to be deliberate on our approach and ensure that any engagement that will emanate from this defining global event will be representative of the interests and needs of our continent. This lecture will certainly be foundational in spotlighting the important issue of global warming and its impact on Africa, and importantly, it is a platform to help us deliberate on possible outcome we seek as part of our preparation for the 27th conference of the party. A big thank you to ARC for hosting this session. Africa is on the front line of the climate emergency. The IPCC 2022 Sixth Assessment Report highlights Africa's exposure to the impact of climate shocks. The increase in intensity and occurrence of weather-induced disaster is a reality for Africa, often leaving a trail of destruction that our economy cannot shoulder. It is important that we speak in one accord and make our voice heard. As the host continent, COP27 will be a significant platform for us, and we must make it count. Coming from the African Union, agricultural, rural development, blue economy, and sustainable environment, our interests are very much aligned with ARC's mandate. I know we share a common interest to see how COP27 will augment our work and look forward to the outcome of COP27. ARC's mandate to strengthen African Union member states' capacity to plan, prepare, and respond to natural disaster threats speaks to the very core of our operation and complements our efforts to ultimately improve food security on the continent. The upcoming COP27 is a tremendous opportunity to speak with one voice as a continent and shape the direction of response to global warming. It is a known fact that although Africa contributes the least to global warming, bearing about 40% of global greenhouse gases, we are one of the most impacted for a number of reasons. One, our capacity to adapt to such threats is severely impacted by limited resources. And two, our economy are heavily dependent on rain-fed agriculture and therefore are at the mercy of the weather. Between now and November, leading up to the COP, our job is to intensify our effort to advocate for Africa's position among stakeholders. By the time we get to Egypt, Africa's position must be clear. We have much work to do together to make it happen, and several efforts are currently ongoing. This summit must yield value rather than just talk. We must be able to connect to outcomes from the previous session and translate this into action from all players. This requires that we understand our story and be able to articulate and argue our position well. COP27 will also present opportunities for Africa to build and strengthen relationships that will facilitate efforts to mitigate, build resilience, and adapt to climate change. The job before us is massive and requires a collaborative effort. We are pleased that Egypt is advocating for an implementation COP, an action COP. We look forward to concrete action aimed at implementing the Paris Agreement. This is time for us to implement the Paris Agreement, because that was in COP15. We're in COP27 and we haven't started implementing it. So we need to really take stock of this and the opportunity and benefit of this COP22 to raise or mobilize resources to start implementing, because the situation, the weather situation in Africa is not very good. Beyond COP27, we must keep the momentum by translating this mission into tangible benefits for our communities. As one of the most affected by the climate crisis, Africa has to lead by taking ownership of its obligations. We owe it to our people to ensure that through policy and implementation, we are aligned with this global initiative, and through enforcement, we can be an example of what we demand. In all of these actions, the importance of partnership cannot be overstressed. We must have a common vision, work together, and learn from each other, and together we can make our road to COP27 an impactful one, even beyond just this event. I thank you for your kind attention.